Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator was seen for the very first time in Star Wars: A Phantom Menace, when Maul was sent to Tatooine to take out Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi and to bring Padme, or Queen Amidala, back to Naboo. And while it doesn't get a lot of screen time, it's actually a really cool ship, but is it cool enough to justify the price LEGO is charging? What is up, guys? My name is Matt, and this is my review of Darth Maul's Sith Infiltrator, also called the Scimitar. This set comes with 640 pieces and will cost you $70 here in the US. This set comes with 4 minifigures, 3 characters from Phantom Menace, and 1 extra minifig to commemorate 25 years of LEGO Star Wars. LEGO pulled a clever little trick on us here, and that little minifig of Saw Gerrera is half the reason that any of us even want this set in the first place. So let's start there. Saw Gerrera looks pretty great here, with dark green used as the base for his chest and his leg piece. It's not a perfect match for that dusty dark blue, green, gray kind of outfit we see in the movies, but I don't really think there's another LEGO color that would be a better match. His front side is covered with all the tubes and all the other details you would expect to see, and Saw is also given a set of beefy shoulder pads that look great, and also include their own prints that match up really well with what we see on his chest underneath. Unfortunately, the design of the shoulder armor means that the cape is pushed out pretty far on the backside and looks a little bit goofy in my opinion. Saw Gerrera's bionic leg is shown here only with a different print on his right leg, which might disappoint some of you, but feels pretty reasonable to me if we compare it with a photo of the character. Only the very bottom of his leg is visible normally, so I really don't think a pirate leg or one of LEGO's newer prosthetic leg pieces would have worked well here. He does get a gloved hand, which is accurate, and I really love his printed red and white cape. It looks awesome. It's appropriately tattered, and it looks great with this minifig. Saw comes with the same 25th anniversary plate that others have come with this year, and has 2 face options. One stern-looking face with a subtle frown, and the other one's showing a bit more strain. Darth Maul generally looks pretty nice here, with black robes that match his wardrobe during his mission on Tatooine. He's usually wearing a hood during those scenes, but that's probably not possible to pair with Maul's horn piece. For this price though, I really wish we had also gotten a black cape and a hood piece as an option. The horn piece we get looks as good as ever. It's sort of rubbery and a little bit flexible. The head it's attached to though is a little bit different from previous Darth Mauls, and not in a good way in my opinion. LEGO removed the pupils in this minifig, which looked okay on Palpatine in last year's throne room diorama. On this Maul minifig though, I just don't think it works very well. Qui-Gon Jinn is wearing his standard Jedi robes on his chest, and they extend down to his dark brown legs with tan printing. That tan printing unfortunately doesn't match the color of the chest piece nearly as well as it could, because LEGO refuses to print a layer of white ink underneath their prints to reduce the visibility of that base color. Boo. Boo. It looks bad, and there's really no other way to spin it. His face print and his hairpiece both look really nice though, so that's something. Qui-Gon is also wearing a long cloak, which does cover up his robe print, but it's pretty accurate to what he's wearing for most of the time he's on Tatooine, so I'm glad we get it. Qui-Gon comes with 2 expressions, one that's full of concentration, and the other one that's full of exertion, like he's in the middle of a duel. Little Anakin looks great here with a tan chest piece that looks perfect and a shorter leg mold. His hairpiece looks pretty good here, although it's quite a bit more fluffy than it is in the movie, probably because this is a reuse of a Harry Potter hairpiece. Anakin comes with 2 faces, one that has a big smile and the other one that looks like he accidentally walked in on Padme taking a shower. The Sith Infiltrator looks pretty nice on the table and captures the sleek look of Maul's ship pretty well. The nose area is maybe a little bit more studded than I would like it to be, and looks very layered with all the different layers of bricks used on the nose and the spine. The foldable wings on each side look pretty decent though, and the area behind those wings is tiled off really nicely, and that looks great. There are just enough slopes and wedges along the body to feel considered, though I do wish the overall look was a little bit more tiled off given the very smooth and sleek design of this ship. We get a nice looking new print on the top to represent that cockpit sphere, but as usual, LEGO doesn't really quite nail getting the gray of that print to match the gray of the bricks. If you can live with that though, it does help the top of that ship feel more rounded and detailed. The back area in general looks really nice. I guess I just wish the top surface of the front half of the ship felt just as detailed and smooth. Part of what makes the front half of this ship feel not so smooth is how large this section in front of the cockpit is, but this is where the ship stores its 3 probe droids, so I think unfortunately that girthy nose was unavoidable. And while the probe droids do not look anything like they do in the movie and feel pretty phoned in, I do think the underside hatch that deploys them is really cool and works really well. There's a lever on the bottom that slides forward, and once it does, a door opens that allows the probe droids to fly out into the world, or fall out, and search for the Jedi and Padme. Though it looks like they're missing the antennas that the probe droids should have, so I guess it doesn't really matter what they find. That flexible rubber piece used in the switch feels really nice compared to the more simple versions used in previous bomb releases though, so it's nice to see LEGO using some new techniques here. Darth Maul gets a very simple version of his blood-fin speeder to ride around in, and it's a little on the small side, but it fits inside the Scimitar's cockpit, so that seems fair. The cockpit opens by lowering the ramp similar to the movie, and then the sides open up a little bit to provide more access to that space. And while you could definitely make a nicer looking speeder, I'm pretty impressed that we were able to close the cockpit with Maul in it and on top of the speeder. The interior also includes 2 clips to hold Maul's dual-bladed lightsaber when he's not using it, so that's pretty great. The other play feature included here are 2 spring-loaded shooters that are actually incorporated really well into the front of the ship. Rather than poking out from the wings the way they sometimes do, both pieces are tucked really nicely underneath that nose and are activated by pressing one of the 2 ingot pieces seen on top of the nose. It's really clever, and they're really way better incorporated into the build than a lot of shooters are, so that's great to see. Let's try it out. Okay, here we go. Get wrecked, Qui-Gon. Oh, not as powerful as I expected. Maybe that was a dud. Ooh, that was a good one. The Scimitar also includes retractable landing gear, which works pretty well. There's a leg on each side that allows the Scimitar to sit mostly level on a table, sorta. And while you can definitely see the Technic pins on the side of the body, the legs are mostly tucked away pretty well when you're not using them. Ryan at M&R Productions complained about the forward tilt of this ship, and I thought, oh, he's just being a baby, like I can handle that. But I have to say, now that I have the ship in front of me, he was totally right. When you use that landing gear, the front of the ship could really benefit from being elevated like 2 plates higher. The tiles all along the spine look pretty nice though. There's some really cool like greebling and detail around the back cockpit area. You can change the position of these fin things in the back, but just so you know, when they're in their normal position, the way they look the best, you can't really put it in its landing position. You have to tuck the bottom ones up a little bit in order for it to sit level and like land. Otherwise, I don't know, they sort of rub on those fins and that looks goofy. Can they rest on those fins? Does that help? No, that's worse. That makes it way worse. So is this set worth that $70 price that LEGO is asking for it? I gotta say, I don't think it is. And it's not because the price per piece is terrible or anything like that, because it's actually better than a lot of other Star Wars sets. The Scimitar is a little bit nicer in person than it looks like it would be on the box, and it's definitely heavier than I expected, but still, I don't know. The ship seems a little bit mid. I understand why they did it, but the simplicity of those probe droids and Maul's speeder all make it feel like the set was rushed a little bit from a designer who just wanted to move on to a different project. Really, the only thing saving this set for me, and the only reason I would ever buy it, is for that Saw Gerrera minifig, and unfortunately, that's probably why it feels like LEGO phoned it in here. If this ship were a little bit more thoughtfully designed, or if it included 1 or 2 other minifigs, like Padme or maybe Obi-Wan, but definitely Padme in her like dusty like Tatooine robes, I could totally see getting this set at the retail price. But the set is 100% going to be on sale at some point somewhere, so given what we get in the box here, I would completely wait for a sale. I don't think this is something you need to buy right now. Thanks a ton for watching, and don't forget to hit that like button if you made it this far, because that means you're one of the cool kids. Let me know what minifig you would have liked to see in this set. Otherwise, have a super awesome rest of your day. Later, nerds!